exactly 2:30. We are in Cairo and we have an internal flight from here to Aswan, where we will start the Nile cruise journey. So yeah, we just packed. We have kind of like 30 minutes until we meet with the group and head to the airport. So my outfit for today is this cute romper. I really love the color. It has a bow, it's tied in the back, and of course my explorer shoes. I keep calling them explorer shoes. They are from Decathlon. It's the desert hiking line. They are so comfy and, well, they match the vibe, of course. So the plan for today is to fly to Aswan, get on our cruise boat, have a lunch, and then we will visit the Philae Temple, the temple dedicated to goddess Isis, the goddess of birth, healing, magic. And on the walls of this temple, I want to show you something very special and interesting. I saw this in Curtis Ryan Woodside's documentary, and I found it really amazing. It's the last hieroglyphs. By the way, if you love ancient Egypt and you want to find out more, then I definitely recommend his documentaries. They are so good and complex. And I also love Joe and Fletcher's documentaries. I really enjoyed those ones too. So if you're ready for today's adventure, then hit that subscribe button and let's get going. We started the day really early, the kind of early where you're not sure if it's still night or already morning. The hotel prepared little breakfast bags for us: sandwiches, pastry, fruit, orange juice, and water. Exactly what we needed. On the way to the airport, we drove past the Grand Egyptian Museum. Even from the distance, in the dark, it looked impressive, like a quiet giant waiting to open its doors to the world. At the airport, everything went smooth. After security, we dropped our check-in bags and got our flight tickets to Aswan, which were the prettiest I've ever seen. We flew with Nile Air, and the flight was just about an hour and a half. Welcome to Aswan, or as they call it, the land of gold. We landed at around 8 a.m. and then came the familiar airport ritual, waiting for the luggage. You know that moment of relief when your bag finally appears on the conveyor belt? Yeah, Mikey's and mine were literally the last ones to show up, and we've been waiting for about an hour. Outside, our bus was already waiting for us. And instead of going straight to the cruise ship like I originally thought, our first stop of the day was actually the Aswan High Dam. We didn't stay long, maybe 20-30 minutes, just enough to take in the massive scale of it and admire Lake Nasser stretching out like a calm sea. The lake began forming after the High Dam was finished in 1970, and its filling was completed in around 1976, a slow 6-year rise that changed the landscape. It brought many benefits, but it also had consequences. Entire communities had to relocate. Also, both Philae Temple and Abu Simbel were saved and relocated through an international UNESCO campaign. Stone by stone, it was one of the largest archaeological rescue missions in history. Well guys, our first stop is actually the dam, and we have Lake Nasser here behind me. Absolutely beautiful. Though its history is not so pleasant, if I may say.
Near the dam, you can also spot the Russia-Egypt Friendship Memorial, a massive lotus-shaped sculpture symbolizing cooperation between the two countries. I really like the architecture. We continued to Philae Temple anchorage. From here, a small boat took us across the water, guided by Nubian boatmen. Our guide actually knew them. He said he's known one of the boys since he was 5, and now he's like 18 or 19. He was almost like a son to him. It was sweet, like watching a family reunion. As the boat moved across the water, we passed an old Nubian guest house, peaceful and colorful. I even snapped a photo with the boys. And then, rising from the lake, the temple appeared, Philae. One of my absolute favorites. Seeing it for the first time, emerging slowly between islands, it was just magical. As we arrived at the temple, the first thing we noticed were these stone benches near the entrance. Clearly modern addition, probably for events. But the moment we stepped further in, the real magic of the temple began. We walked past the kiosk of Nectanebo, the oldest standing part of Philae. Then along the west colonnade, long rows of graceful columns. On the opposite side, the unfinished east colonnade mirrors it.
Guys, we are at Philae Temple and it's the most, I don't know, I mean I love Karnak Temple, but everything depicted on the walls is just amazing. I love it. So this temple was dedicated to the goddess Isis, but it shares it with Hathor. Hathor was the adoptive mother of Horus, and Horus was Isis's son.
From here, the first pylon rises in front of you, carved with massive figures of Ptolemy XII, the father of the well-known Cleopatra VII, striking down enemies in the presence of gods. Near the doorway to the east courtyard stands the beautiful gate of Ptolemy II. Inside the courtyard, on the left, is the Memessi, or the birthhouse, the place where, according to mythology, Isis gave birth to Horus. The columns are crowned with the face of Hathor. On the opposite side is a small Roman chapel added centuries later, showing how this island kept evolving long after the pharaohs. I quickly popped into the birthhouse, but I had a mission. I wanted to find the last known hieroglyphic inscription. I'd seen it in one of Curtis Ryan Woodside's documentaries, and I knew it had to be somewhere close to the water, so I went searching, but instead I ended up at the Nilometer. The Nilometer is basically an ancient measuring system, long stone steps going down to the water. The higher the water level, the more prosperous the agriculture year would be. The lower it was, the more people feared the drought. After that, I returned to searching for the hieroglyphs. I had a screenshot on my phone, so I decided to trust it and follow it. And finally, there it was. The Gate of Hadrian, with a little sign explaining its history and even mentioning the famous inscription. It was busy, so I waited in line, but once you get close, the view is stunning. Here we have the Nubian god Mandalis, and someone was writing when this happened.
So actually this was when the Coptic Christians came to convert the Egyptians. And this poor guy had to suffer. So guys, you can see why this is one of my favorite temples. The view is amazing. The temple itself is amazing. The history behind it is amazing. I really love everything about it. And that detail with the last hieroglyphs is just chef's kiss, though it's a sad story.
I continued on to the Temple of Hathor and finally to Trajan's Kiosk, one of the most photogenic spots on the island. I took a bunch of pictures there and the lighting was perfect. As I kept wandering, I also met a lot of cats, like a lot, a whole group of them, and some tourists were feeding them. I think I counted around 10 all at once. Eventually, we headed back toward the boats. One of the Nubian guys played this traditional instrument, I guess, but the sound was so beautiful. Back on the boat, I chose a simple bracelet handmade by the mother of the young Nubian boy, and I think it was such a sweet detail. After we got back on our bus, we made our way to our next stop, the Unfinished Obelisk. One of those places that looks simple at first until you realize the story behind it.
And the last visit for today is the Unfinished Obelisk, which is right in front of me. And we have the tickets.
We got our tickets, climbed the rocky path, and suddenly there it was, a massive obelisk still lying in the granite quarry where it was carved over 3,500 years ago. The idea was monumental. It would have been the largest obelisk ever made. But as the workers chiseled deeper into the stone, they discovered huge cracks running through it. And when an obelisk cracks, there's no repairing it, so the entire project was abandoned right there in the bedrock. The obelisk has never moved since. These were the types of stones ancient workers used to chisel the obelisks.
Cairo.
Okay. So there was the Ramses II's obelisk
The second here and the Egyptian museum.
at the Egyptian Museum.
Yes.
And here you can't really see, but there is, when the sun is coming from here, you can see Hatshepsut's cartouche. Then one of the men guided us to a spot where you can see the carving process up close, the narrow trench around the obelisk where the workers had cut all the way down to free it from the rock. Seeing it from that angle makes you really appreciate the scale and the effort that went into creating these monuments. After we finished there, we headed back to the dock, and finally, it was time for something I've been waiting for: boarding our cruise ship, the Sun Times. The moment we stepped on board, everything felt calm, yet exciting again. We went straight to lunch. The food on this cruise was amazing the entire stay. We had our own table for the 4 of us, which made everything feel so cozy and familiar. We checked out our room. It was really nice, comfortable, and bigger than I expected.
Hey guys, so I'm going to kind of explore a bit. It's really awesome to be on a ship. Oh wow, nice. I have to say, for someone who's never been on a ship before, this is pretty cool. I kind of felt like in the Titanic, which is so crazy, but yeah. Oh wow, the city is so beautiful. It's such a shame that I didn't come up earlier, but hopefully tomorrow. And we even have a pool. Oh wow. Well guys, I'm sorry, it's dark outside, so we couldn't see much of the sun deck. Nevertheless, it looks great. So I'm heading back to our room, our cabin, and tomorrow I promise you that I will show you the sun deck during maybe sunset, you know, that golden hour. Oh my goodness, I think it would look so amazing. And who knows, maybe we will take a swim. Oh, that would be so fantastic. Well guys, that was it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit tiring because we had that early morning flight from Cairo to Aswan, but it was a fabulous day. And the highlight for me, it was definitely Philae Temple, and I'm really happy that I found that last hieroglyphic inscription that Curtis mentioned in his documentary. And yeah, right now we are on our Nile cruise ship or boat, I guess I can call it a ship. And tomorrow we will have another interesting day. Some of us will go in the morning to visit Abu Simbel, you know, the temple of Ramses II and the temple of Nefertari, his favorite wife, which is, it's really pretty. It was relocated during the flooding, and I really hope that it's as amazing as I imagine it. And if you want to join us tomorrow, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below what was your favorite part about today. I will finish this vlog here. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye!